Hey everybody, we finally get to meet in person this week. I'm excited. So let's go through all our assignments. First off, the practice exam that we had last week. Remember, that's going to be due on Monday, August 31st. So if you have not done that yet, it really doesn't take that much time. I don't care if you've taken online classes before and if you've used the Lockdown browser before. I still want you to do that because I know, and I mentioned this, there's a video that I want you to watch before you do the practice exam. But I've mentioned this, that a lot of students will take online classes. And then honestly, from what I'm hearing from y'all, the instructors don't watch the videos. That is not the case in here. So I really want us to be clear on what we have to do when we take a real test. All right. I would much rather have a misunderstanding on this practice exam than I do the real exam at the end of next week. So do that if you haven't already. It's due Monday by the end of the day. After that, we've got one more lecture video this week. You don't have two, it's just one. Chapter 19 is on systematics and phylogeny. That sounds terrible. It's really not that bad. All it is how we group and how we name organisms. It goes along a lot of the stuff that we talked about in chapter 15. So you'll notice some of that from the evolution chapter we did. But it's actually not a bad lecture at all, so don't let the name scare you. That's available now. I broke it down into several parts like I did the other one, so just make sure you watch all of those lecture videos, all the different parts. And you have a review quiz on Chapter 19 that is due September 6th. This one, take it on a computer if you've got access. Hopefully you do. Make sure you take it on a computer. There's a question about, we're going to talk about how we do scientific naming. And I made a quiz with like different versions, that they have to be italics if they're typed out. They have to be typed out in italics. And what I've noticed is that if you take the quiz on your phone, like using the Blackboard app, it doesn't show italics, I don't think, so that could be confusing. So just when you do that review quiz, make sure you do it on a computer. And then finally we get to meet in person. I'll hold it in a little bit, but y'all are going to be the first students that I've seen in person since before spring break. So I'm looking forward to this. Doing office online classes is not fun for me, so I'm excited. We're doing a lab on the microscope. It's really easy. It's a good introduction lab just to kind of get in the swing of things. I will start at the beginning. I think we're going to have someone from Student Support Services come and talk to us for a couple minutes. But at the beginning, I'll just kind of go over some lab safety and stuff like that. Now, that's really important information, so make sure that you're here on time. And I'll go into that in just a second. But we're going to be in room 238. If you are not sure how to get there, if you've never been to the science building, I know I'm going like elementary school, really trying to spell stuff out for you. But if you'll go to the Start Here tab in the upper left, go down to the bottom of that tab, and I've got a video that shows you how to get to the science building. Remember, we're going to have to go through a temperature checkpoint before you come on campus this year. So you'll have to drive through the East Broad entrance. That's not Wallace Drive where you would get to like the, Wallace Hall and Naylor and all those buildings. So you have to go through East Broad, through some iron gates to get your temperature checked. It's not bad. The first time is a little confusing, but after that it's really not bad. And they're usually screening pretty quickly, so I don't think there's going to be a big backup or anything like that. But just make sure you give yourself enough time to go through that. Don't be pushing it. I'm guilty of that in the past too, but this semester don't be trying to barely squeak in, because you will get held up at that checkpoint. But if you need directions to get there, click on that video, directions to the new science building. And then there's another video, directions to the Biology 103 lab. Once you walk in, that'll kind of show you how to get there. There should be someone in the lobby when you walk in telling you where to go. But just in case, watch that video and it'll show you how to get there. Last few things. When you go through the checkpoint, they will give you a colored wristband. The color is different every day. We have to do it too. So just make sure that you get your wristband, and you do have to have that on your arm. They should check you when you walk in the building, but when we get in our lab, I'm going to get everyone to hold their arm up real quick to see that you got it. If you don't, you have to go to the checkpoint and get it. Again, that's a hassle, so just make sure you get it the first time. Got to have a mask. And the COVID waiver form, I mentioned that earlier, but that's in the upper left side of Blackboard. Click on there, sign that, bring it with you. I'll have a couple extras if you have any issues or you don't have a printer, but make sure you bring that with you, because I'll have to take that up on the first day too. I think that's about got it. So everyone signed up for the group that you're supposed to be in. I know everyone did that. So if you signed up for Group A, we were going to meet on Monday the 31st. If you were signed up for Group B, we'll meet on Wednesday, September 2nd. And 8 o'clock. This whole semester we'll always meet at 8 o'clock. All right. Finally, last few things, reminders for next week. Our first exam is coming up next week, September 10th and 11th. I'm going to leave it open for 48 hours, so just make sure you set aside some time next Thursday and Friday, September 10th and 11th, to take the exam. If you took the practice exam, you'll kind of know what to expect as far as how the test is set up. It's going to be multiple choice, just like the practice exam. Obviously, it'll be real biology questions, but it'll be multiple choice. And then one more thing I wanted to point out. The schedule is kind of weird this semester with some of the off days that we have, so this is the only time we're going to have to do this. But next week, I've assigned the Chapter 2 lecture, the chemistry lecture, for you. You can do that next week, that's fine, but I want to make sure you realize that chemistry questions will be on the test next Thursday and Friday. So if you wait until next week to watch the chemistry lecture, make sure you do that really early in the week, because you're going to have to answer questions on that at the end of the week. What you could do, what I'd probably recommend, is watch Chapter 19 early this week, do the lab whenever you're scheduled for that, and then over the weekend go ahead and watch Chapter 2, the chemistry chapter. That way, if you have any questions or if there's something that doesn't make sense, you can message me on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I can help you out with that. All right? So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see y'all in the lab sometime this week.